Still, what I want in my life is to be willing to be dazzled, to cast aside the weight of facts, and maybe even to float a little above this difficult world. Mary Oliver. Welcome friends, Om Shanti. This is actually the sunset I got to watch during my practice. It's quite beautiful. Let's get started in Balasana, child's pose. Toes together, knees wide, hips settle to the heels, and the belly and the chest melt between the inner thighs. Forehead rests on the earth, and the fingertips stretch out overhead. And let's take a deep inhale. Feel the side bodies and upper back expand, and an exhale to settle in. Let's do that again. Inhale and exhale. And our breath will be elemental today during our practice. Nice and slow breaths. And let them lead you from pose to pose and deeper into each pose. Look forward between the hands and shift forward onto the hands and the knees. Wrists under shoulders, and we'll move through cat-cow using that same breath. Exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin and the tailbone. Inhale, open the belly, the heart, and gaze forward. And repeat with your breath. With each motion, we feel ourselves move just a little bit deeper, lift a little bit higher, open just a little bit more. Walk those hands forward and move into puppy pose. Stretch those hips behind you, draw the shoulder blades around toward the heart, and point the triceps down to the earth. Gaze can be forward, or if it's comfortable, rest the forehead on the earth. Side bodies pull back and away. This is such a satisfying pose at the end of a day. And let's lower it all the way down to our belly. Take the left arm over to the left, perpendicular to your mat. Right hand under the shoulder, and we'll roll onto the left side of our body. The right leg swings back behind us, and this is an option. This can be pretty intense for the left shoulder. If you feel stable and you'd like a little more, let's take that leg, the leg on the floor, and hook the ankle onto your right knee. Right arm up and into the sky, and now we're moving a little bit deeper, and it might grab that right foot. If you're in this bound variation, the hips shift forward and the knees float back, the heart stays open. If your body's not ready for this, it's going to tell you so right away. Let's go ahead and unwind gently and slowly. And take the right arm over to the right. Roll onto the right side of the body, and that left foot is just kind of a kickstand here. You can pause here. Or if you tried that variation on the other side, let's try it on this side too. Right ankle hooks the left knee, and this helps it move backward and keeps it down close to the earth. For a little bit more, outstretch the left fingers skyward and possibly, maybe, reach them for the top of that left foot. Again, the collarbones spread, the breath is long, slow, and plentiful. The knees shift back behind us, and the hips slightly roll forward. Front body opener. We kind of look pretzel-y right now, but it's oh so good to unwind our body. Let's go ahead and come on back, hands and knees. Walk those hands forward and over toward the right. Outstretch them long, and this is a side stretch puppy pose. Send those hips way over to the left and stretch those left ribs over toward the left as well. Let's take it to the other side. We're looking for more space in the side bodies. Imagine that each rib can separate just a little bit more, and let your breath help that process. Let's go ahead and come on back. Take a seat and extend those legs out in front of you. Flex the toes very much toward the face, and the inner thighs roll inward toward the earth. Your fingers will support you in a tall seated position. However, if you have the hamstring strength and you feel stable, let's take those fingers skyward, and you'll know right away if that's possible for you. With a long spine, long legs, reach toward those toes or the calves, the ankles, whatever's most comfortable, and use your breath here. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, reach the heart toward those toes and the toes back toward your face. Inhale and lengthen, long spine. Exhale, we grow a little bit closer toward the tops of those feet. You can use your breath just like that in any pose. It helps so much. Help yourself back to a seated position. Place the hands behind the hips. Turn the fingers away from your body and take the pinky side edges of your hands closer together. Bend the elbows very much for stability and squeeze those elbows toward one another. Lift the heart. And this, you'll feel right away, is a tasty little treat for the shoulders. If you'd like a little bit more, only if you feel like you're ready, shift the hips forward and do the same thing. Bend in the elbows and squeeze them together. Our in-breaths lift our heart. We stay mindful of our shoulders. Shift the hips back if needed, and release the hands. Find your way to a plank position, and then to down dog. Sway through the hips, maybe pedal through the knees, and then raise that right leg up and back behind you, parallel to the earth. Find some backward pulling motion. Stick with that, or a little bit deeper, step the right foot directly in front of and to the side of the left foot so the outside edges of your feet meet. That gets pretty intense for the calves. Let's take it to the other side. Left leg raises. This is pretty intense as it is, but if you'd like a little more, step the left foot in front of and to the side of the right. Go ahead and release. Raise the right leg high and up and into the sky. Upward pulling energy pulls us out of those hands. Exhale, draw the knees to the nose and place the right foot carefully between the hands. Lower the left knee down. Place the hands onto the right thigh. We're going to find that pesky little psoas muscle that gives our low back such a pain in the back. Tuck the tailbone, squeeze the left glute muscle. Look down toward the left knee. Press the left foot very much into the earth, and we found that pesky little muscle. Keep in contact with that and start to shift the hips forward and open up the heart. For a little bit extra heart opener, take the hands to the hips and help to press those hips forward. But be sure the heads of the shoulders continue to roll back, the elbows squeeze together. Let's go ahead and release. Take those hands down to the earth, pull back, straighten the right leg and flex the right toes toward the face, and then inhale, come back forward. With your breath, exhale, move back, half splits. Inhale, move forward, that lunge again. Exhale one more time, let's pull back. Fold over the right leg, and just like in the beginning, use your breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, and fold. Turn those right toes slightly toward the left. And let's step the right foot down, lightly float the left foot forward, and both legs are straight. We're moving into a pyramid pose. Place your right hand on your hip, the left hand down to the ground. Spin the back left heel in just about 2 inches. Turn the heart toward the right, and maybe raise those right arm fingers up and into the sky. It might feel good to let the right arm rest behind the back. But don't let the legs go to sleep here. Keep them nice and strong. Plant the palms, sweep the right leg back. Stack the right hip on top of the left and open up the belly. Three-legged down dog, deeper variation. And then let's place that right foot next to the left. Other side, left leg raises, upward pulling motion, deep into that right heel. Every limb is dynamic, but the neck is relaxed. The face is soft. Draw the left knee to the chest and place the left foot between the hands, lower down to the right knee. Now always pad the knees if you'd like. Keep those right toes flipped. Take your weight back just a little bit. Tuck the tailbone, squeeze the right glute muscle, round through the chest and look toward that right knee, and you'll feel this in your front right hip flexor. Press the right foot into the ground even more to feel this, just a little more intensely. Follow that feeling forward into the left hip. Roll the heart open. Keep the right toes still very dynamically pressing into the earth. And if you'd like, you can take those hands back behind you and clasp opposite elbows. And have you lost your breath? Bring it on back. Hands on either side of the left foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull back, half splits. This is just a gentle flow to keep those legs nice and warm. Exhale, pulling back. Inhale that lunge one more time. Exhale, and let's settle back, half splits. Ardha Hanumanasana. Use the breath again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold, and those left toes slightly point toward the right. Beautiful. Come on back. Float the right foot forward about 6 inches, straighten through both legs. Spin that right heel in slightly, right fingers down, left hand to the left hip, long spine. And turn the heart so that it looks toward the left. Make sure that that right leg, the back leg, stays very strong and keeps that right hip high. Take the left fingers skyward maybe, and that might be a little too intense, so maybe take it behind the back or right back to the left hip. Listen to your body. Twisted pyramid pose. Take the hands down and sweep the left leg back and extend the left leg high, stack the hips, deeper variation of three-legged down dog here. Then draw the left knee back between the hands and shift your weight to the center of your mat, and we'll just shuffle between yogi squat to the left, transverse squat to the right, transverse squat to the left, and pause. Now you can keep your fingers down to the ground, maybe swat away a few mosquitoes. Or, for a little bit more intense variation, reach for those right toes reach toward you as well, and the left fingers come out to the left and in front of you. Again, use the palms here in the center if you need. Or try this. Listen to what your body needs, and let's go ahead, take the palms back down, shuffle over toward that right leg, point the right toes to the right, and the left toes point directly behind you, and we're on the left knee. Beautiful. Take both hands down onto the ground just in front of your hips and use the right hand to press the right knee back behind you, the left hand just underneath the left shoulder. Let the hips sink down further into the ground, and we feel this in our inner thighs, our groin area. Maybe lower down to the left elbow for an added challenge. And if your right leg feels like it can stay there, take both elbows down to the ground. And this is where our breath comes in handy. Our breath keeps us calm and creates space in our muscles, our joints, and our ligaments. Let's come on to the hands and shuffle over that right foot. Heel toe the right foot over to the right a little, and the left knee over to the left a little. Fingertips down, and the heart is lifted and broad. Tuck the tailbone under so it looks to the front of the mat. If you'd like a little bit more, lower the elbows down to the earth. And if the earth is not accessible, bring it to your elbows with a pillow or some blocks. Go ahead and come on to the hands, the left hand underneath the left shoulder. Turn the heart to the right and press the right knee away. And we're peeling the heart upward. So this is a mild back bend. The heads of the shoulders roll back. For a little bit more, bend into that back leg, and with the right hand, reach for the outside edge of your left foot. This is quite a challenge. Heart stays lifted, tailbone stays tucked, and let's go ahead and release. Sweep your way back to down dog. Such a fun sensation, one leg and the other after a deep stretch like that. Let's even things out. Right leg up and into the sky, draw the knee to the chest, right toes between the hands, and let's take that transverse lunge over into the right leg. Use your fingers again down onto the ground for support. Or, if you feel stable, reach toward those left toes and the left toes reach back to you. It's like a good relationship there. Inner thighs, and hamstrings, and hips, and heart. All the parts of being in a human vehicle. Take yourself over toward those left toes. Turn the left toes to the left. Sweep your right foot behind you. Wiggle out the hips a little bit. Right hand underneath the right shoulder, and the left hand pushes the left knee back, and the hips settle toward that left heel just a little bit more. You can stay here, or come down to that right elbow. Maybe take the left elbow down too. Let the breath be full in the lungs and send the breath down into the hips. And remember to soften the face. The face doesn't have much to do with any of these poses. And let's shuffle over to the left. Left toes, heel toe over to the left, right knee over to the right a little bit more. Peel that heart open, tuck the tailbone under, and the right foot still presses a little bit into the earth. Find the openness in the right hip, and then maybe, if you'd like, settle down to the elbows. Maybe roll through the neck, close the eyes, and remember to keep the face soft. And this pose is one of those that doesn't feel too tasty at first, but becomes more delicious in time. Hands underneath the shoulders, right hand down, left hand presses that left knee away, and the heads of the shoulders roll back, the heart opens, and first just a little bit more, okay, a lot bit more. Bend into that back right knee, and with the left hand grab for the outside edge of the foot. We want an opening from that right knee through the heart all the way up into those left fingers. Let's go ahead and release. Fingers down and sweep back to the knees. Palms down and to down dog. Left leg raises up and into the sky. Then the right. And just even things out. This feels really good. Let's take a pause. It's amazing how our heart-mind clarity can be highlighted after the aches and the tightness in the body is a little bit alleviated. Smiles come much easier. Palms down, flip your way back to down dog. Left leg high and into the sky, and draw it through. And let's take that left ankle toward the right wrist, the left knee toward the left wrist. And we're prepping for pigeon. Now your left ankle might scoot back a little bit as you align yourself here, and that's okay. But mine doesn't. Not quite as much. It used to. You'll get there. Place your hands underneath the shoulders, and my shoulders happen to be just above my left leg. Draw the right hip forward just as much as the left, and check out that right foot. Is it right behind your right hip muscle? And if not, shuffle it there. Maybe flip those right toes and you can scoot your hips back a little bit more, and we're focusing on alignment here in Pigeon. Heart stays open. We're still really working on those front hip flexors. Muscles in the front of our hips, which are tightened from constant sitting or walking. Now I'm placing my hands on my foot and my knee to help myself sit up tall. You can do the same. You can also try a little bit deeper variation, placing your right hand down and turning your heart to the left. Now that's intense. For a little more intensity, you can grab that back foot. Again, you guessed it, the outside edge with the left hand. The heads roll back. Heads of the shoulders, roll back. Now you're going to know right away if that's a possibility for you. Your body's going to let you know. Don't be too demanding. Let's go ahead and take it to the other direction. This one's a little more accessible. Left palm down, right fingers reach for the top of that right foot from the inside of the right foot. And a little bit deeper maybe. Take the right foot to the crook of the right elbow. A little bit deeper, left fingers up and into the sky, and all of this is optional. And if you can, hook your mudras maybe. Keep that breath steady. Eliminate your expectations and know that it's a journey, and if you're not quite here at mermaid pose, you're on your way to something good, no matter what. Let's go ahead and release wherever we're at. Turn toward those left toes, and then bring the bottoms of the feet together. A little bit of butterfly pose. Again, we can feel the difference between our left and our right leg here. Let's go ahead and extend those legs, hands behind the hips, and lift the hips. A little bit of glute contraction feels real good after a pigeon pose. Awesome. Turn to your right and find your way to down dog. And of course the other side, the right leg raises up and into the sky, maybe bend into that right leg and open the right side of the body just a little bit more. And pigeon prep on this side. Right ankle toward the left wrist, right knee toward the right wrist. Any amount of sliding back is of course totally acceptable. But the other things that we want to focus on, let's do that. The left hip draws down, the left foot is directly behind your left hip. And the heart stays open, shoulders stay open, and maybe I can shuffle back in space just a little bit more. Now I'm going to keep my right leg right where it's at with my hands. Left palm on my right foot, right palm on my right knee. And let's try something just a little bit deeper. Left fingers down or left palm down, right hand to the right knee. And we're going to start to turn our heart to the right just a little bit. Help that left hip down to the ground. And for a little bit more, bend into that back left knee and reach for the outside edge of the foot. Heads of the shoulders roll back. Heart is open. Let's go ahead and release. Take it the other way, a little more accessible. Right fingers down, bend into that back leg again, and let's see, oh, yep, I think we can. Grab the inside of the left foot with the left hand, or scoot that left foot into the crook of the left elbow, and maybe float the right fingers up. Now this side gives me just a little more trouble, but I'm going to try it anyway. I can definitely feel the difference between my left and right side. And don't worry too much about that. We are human. And while Cosmos says beauty comes from being symmetrical, I entirely disagree. Beauty comes from a much deeper place. Let's go ahead and release, palms down. And again, shift your way toward your right foot. Take those feet about 6 or 8 inches apart and shuffle your hips back so you create sort of a diamond with your legs. Grab your ankles, inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Elbows press the knees down into the earth gently. Now, your knees might come down a little further than mine do, but I still have some tight hips I'm working on. If you'd like a little bit more, grab the toes and fold a little bit further. Elbows move past the calves. My breath is still full. Sit back up, take those heels wide. Flex the toes toward the face, of course. Use your fingertips behind you to sit up nice and tall. And then turn toward those right toes. Melt the heart toward those right toes. And as that right hamstring opens, let's take this a little bit deeper. Take your right elbow on the inside of the right thigh and reach the left toe, fingers toward the right toes, and spin the heart open and forward. Maybe those right fingers grab the right toes as well. Now this can be pretty intense. Something yummy to work towards. Left ribs open and separate. Heart shines skyward. Let's go ahead and release whichever variation you were able to maintain. Take it to the other side. Turn the heart over those left toes and fold. Keeping those right toes active still. Let's try the same variation. Left elbow on the inside of the left leg, right fingers to the left toes, maybe. Turn the heart upward, expand through the right ribs. Now, if you're not able to reach those toes, the right arm just reaches skyward maybe, or behind the back, or even just still folding toward those left toes. Let's go ahead and sit up, pull the legs together. Take a little pause. And let's roll all the way down to the mat. Feet underneath the knees, and we'll work toward bridge pose and a few variations of bridge pose. Hips come high into the sky, shoulders away from the ears, and the line of energy through the throat remains open. You can stay here or move to a deeper variation by taking the palms, heels of the hands underneath the hips, a little deeper. Walk those toes away from the body so the legs extend. Always listen to your body and move with your breath. This one's pretty intense. Let's go ahead and come on back from that pose and roll all the way down, arms out, and just roll the knees around, a little massage for the low back. And we're going to do that again, bridge pose, whichever one of those felt best. If you like the variation with the hands under the hips, try that. Or let's move a little deeper, and you'll know if you'll want to do this by those last poses, moving into full wheel. Hands over the shoulders and we lift. Heart moves in the direction of your gaze, and maybe extend those legs a little bit straighter. I've been working toward this back bend heart opener for a long time, so if you're in bridge pose today, just work with that. Work with the breath. Wherever you're at, come on down to the mat. Take the knees into the chest and maybe kick out the legs. Cross the left leg over the right thigh. Take the knees over toward the right. The arms stay out to a T, or the right hand can help the knees over just a little bit more. And our breath focuses on helping that left shoulder to complete the twist by rolling down into the earth. So we're not only twisting in the low back, but through the torso as well, the upper torso. Let's come back to center, switch legs. Drop the knees to the left. Right shoulder down into the earth. And go ahead and release. Pull the knees into the chest for just a moment, and then rock to a seated position. Take a moment to look around and enjoy your environment, or just enjoy your body. And we're going to work toward cow face pose. Extend that right leg in front of you, hook the left leg over, walk the left foot around until the left knee stacks on top of the right. Now, if that felt okay and you have some more openness, let's swing the right foot around as well. Place the hands on the knees and sit up tall. Either one of those variations is just fine. We'll take this a little deeper. Take the left arm up behind the back and the right arm behind the back and wiggle walk those fingers toward one another. Keep the heart open. And now you can't see from here, but my fingers are just barely clasping, and that's something I've been working toward for a long time. I had to use a towel or a strap. Go ahead and do so if that's where you're at. Let's go ahead and release. Remember to pause, rewind, and start this video over as you'd like. Extend the left leg, cross the right knee on top of the left, and take that right foot all the way over toward the left hip, or a little bit deeper. That left foot comes around toward the right hip as well. Find a little bit of stability, and then place the hands on the knee. I'm not waving at ghosts, I swear. There are just a million little bugs all over the place. Again, no kill zone. I try and be the yogi that invites it all into my space, but I still don't enjoy mosquito bites. Right arm up and overhead, left arm behind the back, and let's see if we can find those fingers. And by now, if you cannot, maybe just try a strap. Chest stays broad, and make sure that right elbow pulls out of your peripheral vision. My breath comes in handy in this pose for sure. It can really be a challenge. Let's go ahead and release. Let's just take a seat. In a comfortable seated position, however is comfortable for you. Maybe half lotus like this. But I think that I would like to try full lotus. I've been working on my hips. And you don't necessarily have to sit like this, but let's take a sit together. Feel the openness in the hips. Take a moment to breathe. And our breath work helps us to connect the outer world with our inner world. A seemingly separate space, but with our breath we remember that we are all one. The ever-changing nature around us marries with the consistency, the light inside of us, the never-changing being that resides within me and within you and all of sentient beings. Puts a smile on my face. Bring your hands to heart center, and in honor of your practice, I say to you, Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. Please place your left hand on your heart and the right fingers down to the ground. And this grounding sensation brings us back to our day. Namaste.